Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with the first impressions of Diablo 4 from a fully blind player's perspective. Now, the big thing is that the screen reader is not currently working on Sony platforms. The leader team has already come out and said that they're working on fixing it. It's just a matter of getting the patch through from Sony, like they have to approve it with them, and the whole thing. But they are working on it, and it's what they've mentioned. They're actually trying to fix it, so, you know, I'll give them credit for that. Aside from the screen reader not working, how's the game as a blind person? Well, it's definitely harder than Diablo 3, which I appreciate. The skills feel like Diablo 2, like you have to actually put points into them, and then you can't respec for free. That's pretty nice. Movement feels pretty slow, but you know, controls are all responsive. Moves sound cool, sound very impactful. The actual like gameplay though is the thing that draws people in, right? You have the campaign, which you have to do to get to the actual real end game content, the real game, right? You get to the end game, and you have Helltide events in World Tier 3, which you have to beat down sometimes in World Tier 2. Like, there's a whole bunch of this game. Like, you're locked until you actually prove you can beat these challenges or these difficulties, and then you get new stuff. Which is kind of, you know, this is the general gist of how ARPGs work, which I appreciate. There's plenty of content to do. You know, of course, like, the main thing you want to do is Nightmare Dungeons, of course, but you still have options for a bunch of other things. Apparently, I'm interacting with quests. That's not really is. Thank you, the actual classes themselves, like, have those skills and stuff, so I haven't put my time into every class. I've mostly been messing with the Druid because we had barbs and like demon hunter type things in Diablo 3. We had swords, necroid. We had all four of those were in Diablo 3. The rogue was called a necroid or demon hunter, but the druid, I have never played a druid in an RPG, so I want to do it. Doing it. I'm having fun mixing and matching skills and like playing tornado and werewolf and bears. It's fun. I'm not worried about like meta this, meta that, because honestly, I just am too tired to worry about meta. I'd rather just play the game. Kinda how I am with Street Fighter right now. Street Fighter, I don't care how bad or good Zangief and Mono are. I'm just playing them because I like my grapplers. So the hard part about the game right now, as it is, if you buy it today, is the screen reader not working. Aside from that, if you can get assistance through share screen or share play, if you're on PlayStation or I think that there's like the couch, like, I don't know what it's called on Xbox, but like, there's ways to get help, right? You know, video sharing screens and stuff, text reading with OCR or text reading apps. There's ways. It is tricky, but the actual accessibility that's there for blind players right now. We have sound effects for loot item drops. So let's say there's a rare sword, a magic sword, a legendary axe. You know, there's different sounds for different item rarities as well as different items in general. So like gold and potions and weapons and armor, they all sound different. So you can find those. Apparently, what is this quest? I don't know. But the other thing is, I think there's a sound indicator for targeting an enemy that's not within melee range. I think I might be wrong, honestly, but I'm not sure. So those two things alone help a lot because then you don't miss loot and you can tell what you're targeting. Apparently, there's a proximity sensor sound thing where if it's an interactable or something to like pick up or a chest, it will interact with that sound effect. I don't see personally why we couldn't do this for doors and like portals. Basically anything to interact with. It just be like a nice quality of life, in my opinion. The other thing, so I'll talk about the screen reader when I played it with the server slam and betas and stuff when it worked. So the TTS that was in the game would read everything you're equipped. So like this would be like Knight's Helm, 20 armor, plus 5 dexterity, you know, whatever, right? It would read all the stats. And the same goes for inventory. So you could compare and contrast all the stuff you're wearing. This way, like, you know, which is of course the core of ARPGs is skills and gear. That's the one thing you need it for. Everything else is just a bonus, honestly, in my opinion. Sorry about that. I had a cough. Now we go to skills. So we go tab over R1. here's the tricky part, because it is a cursor, you can't just D-pad this, you have to use a cursor. Honestly, I don't see a problem with it, because, I mean, as long as you're in a safe space, you have all the time in the world. So your cursor is left stick or mouse or whatever you're using, and the screen reader, when it worked, and it will work again, they're fixing it, like I said. It'll read you the skill, it'll tell you shred, claw an enemy in your werewolf form for 10 damage, or, you know, generates 10 spirit, or whatever the stat is. Now, here's the thing. The one setting you want to turn on, blind or not, doesn't matter what disability you have, there are settings in the gameplay section, I think, where it's advanced tooltips and advanced tooltip comparison. You need those on. They show you all the true numbers and all the numbers you need for the math in this game. You know, again, it's just like any other RPG. You want to know all the stats you have, all the numbers you have to min-max your damage and toughness and stuff. So the reader does do skills and gear. Those are the two core things you need. What else does it read? So the third big thing in my opinion, is the map. I don't know what that sound was. That was a weird sound. I don't like it. I'm scared. The map. So the people are having so much trouble with, like, this game doesn't have nemesis, I'm not supporting it, blah 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 blah. Fine, you do you. I don't care. I'm gonna try and help people who want to play the game. So, in my opinion, navigating this game is not as hard as people are making it out to be. It really isn't. Simply because it's a top-down ARPG. You're not like running through buildings in Last of Us, or like trying to traverse a boat in God of War. As far as I know, maybe later, but you know, it's not a huge navigation challenge right now. So right now, when you pull up the map, and the reader's working, assuming, right, depending on the console you're on or platform, it will not say anything, right, until you start moving. So the way I think about this is this: your navigation is based on north, east, southwest, up, down, left, or right, depending on what you want to use for terminology. For me in my stream, we would just say north, east, no, just cardinal directions. It made more sense than saying up, down, left, right, because just whatever, right? So let's say, for example, there's a quest I picked up from someone in town. Oh, can you find my brother's body? I think he's went missing on the road or whatever, right? I think there's a quest for, like, looking for a monk on the road, actually. Okay, alright, let's say, alright, go on, accept the quest, alright, mark it, alright, it's active, let's track it, cool. Now, how do we find that quest? How do we get there, right? This is where people are having problems, right? You pull the map, and this takes a second, but you pull the map, and then you use your left stick, and you just go up. Okay, nothing. Do it again. Left, nothing. Do it again. Like it's rinse and repeat. It is tedious. I understand that. However, you can find it. It will tell you when you found the quest. Okay, like for demonstration purposes. All right, I move to the right. All right, so that's east. All right, so square or X on Xbox or whatever the key is on. I think it's right click on PC. All right, cool. Let's assume. All right, this is where the monk's body at. I hit square to pin it. Now I go to the right. I just follow. Oh look, sound effect, sound indicators. Look at this. Found things. Probably actually found. I don't know what I found, honestly. Something to do with the quest. But that it's not as complicated as people make it seem to be. At least in my opinion. Again, I've played Diablo 3. I played a bit of Path of Exile. I played before I went blind. I played Champions of North. I played Baldur's Gate, Ultimate Light. Like I played a bunch of ARPG stuff. I grew up on RPGs and shooters, not fighting games. So I have totally different mindset from like 95% blind people. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed my first impressions of accessibility. The crux is this: the screen reader, when it's working, it is fantastic. It reads everything you need it to read. I don't remember anything not being read out loud that I didn't need it to. The loot sounds and targeting sounds and all this other like external stuff that's not screen reader based, it worked great. I understood where all my loot was. I understood how to like find all the stuff I was missing. Sorry. And yeah, the game itself, in my opinion, is actually very accessible. Like to me, this is top-notch accessibility because it gives you all the tools you need to figure out things in the game and play the game. but it doesn't hold your hand, at least in my opinion. Now, this is my personal preference, but I just finished the Last of Us walkthrough, which I need to actually remember to upload the last part. But like, The Last of Us and God of War are games inherently designed for single-player negative experiences. They are not a big MMO ARPG with open world, like design. Like, games are they're designed totally differently, and the way you play them is totally different, right? With God of War and Last of Us, you're following a narrative. You're playing Kratos or Joel or even Ellie in Part 2, and like you're going through an experience, right? That's the experience of Diablo is, you know, getting the gear, getting the skills, you know, killing things. This game is not that complicated. You get shit, you kill shit, you rinse and repeat, and maybe do some different side activities here and there, and like get a better challenging dungeon and stuff like that. But it's not that complicated. It really isn't. The hard part of playing Diablo for blind players is understanding boss mechanics and not dying, honestly, because there's a lot. You got to dodge a lot of things. You got to outmaneuver things. If you know, so there's a lot of stuff like that. The depth for the game for blind players, at least in my opinion, is understanding your mechanics, your stats, and again, not dying, because you can die pretty easily in this game, honestly, unless you're not spec'd out for toughness. I hear a wolf in the distance, and I don't want to go near it because I'm scared of it, because it sounds creepy. Like, this far away, it's like reverbing like through the headphones. It's like freaking me out. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I want to find what is my quest thing going for. What are you doing, quest thing? I keep hearing you like go off. What do you... Uh-oh. F anything. Uh-oh. Not good, boys. Rest in peace.
Out of spirit.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about the sniffles and coughs, but I'm sick, so. I really need to fix my gear.
I do not have any potions.
I died, yeah. That's the downside, is that because the schooner is not up, I can't keep my gear up. But whatever. Still have fun with the game, so that's the point, right? The point of gaming is to have fun. You know, just gotta wait. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks again for listening or watching. See you guys next time. Probably over on Twitch, honestly.